Hello, and welcome to the Dusty Recovery Network. Our aim is to guide the edgeless mammies and mules because the number one symptom of mammying is the loss of edges into the dust-free light. We understand that you've been brainwashed by years of the Kang's manipulative Hotep tales and proclamations of the white man's need to destroy the black family, black love, and ultimately the black man. Sis, don't fall for the chocolate-covered lies. The Dusty Recovery Network is a fellowship of people who've come together to solve the global knacker problem. Membership in changing your mentality is free to all who heed the message. There are no age or education requirements to join. Membership is open to anyone who wants to divest from the toxicity that is the knacker problem that is rampant throughout the entire black diaspora. Divestment is letting go of toxic behaviors, people, and mindsets. Divesting is focusing on your needs and wants instead of the group. Doing what makes you content and what causes you to thrive. To clarify, divestment doesn't just include dating out, as the dusty nakers and their titanium cape-wearing mammies seem to think. We at the Dusty Recovery Network are here to help you actualize your future dust-free life. Sis, I know it can be hard letting go of those elaborate dreams of his potential, but he's 28 and still trying to get his rap career off the ground while working part-time at Amazon, or he's one of the handful of black men that think they're the prize because they went to college and has his own place and drives his own vehicle. Sir, it's called being an adult member of society. Literally, there is no bar for the Kang. He can be impoverished, irresponsible, and imbecilic, but because he is black and male, he is exalted, even though he adds no value to your life or society as a whole. Listen up, black women. I'm going to need you to stop referring to peasants as kings. Kings are supreme rulers with wealth, and black men barely have 2 wooden nickels to rub together. Globally, they have no resources, nor do they own or dominate any industries. These men have no societal power or influence. They are paupers, not princes. This video isn't meant to drill you reverse sunken place mammies, but it's to show you exactly how remedial you look worshiping men with no accomplishments that hate themselves and the community they belong to, all while worshiping the wombs of the women who birthed the men that supposedly oppress them. Make it make sense. We at the Dusty Recovery Network understand that you mammies and mules have lived and breathed dust for so long that you have now taken on the demented ethos of the remedial naker, and we're here to help. Mammies come in all shapes and sizes, ages and shades. They often derive their value and worth from men or their proximity to men. Regardless of how derelict or dysfunctional the naker is, in the eyes of the mammy, an adult black man needs to be protected because he is weak and always the victim and never the victor. Mammies are Pick Mes on steroids. The mammy is delusional in her quest to rectify every wrong enacted or perceived upon her beloved Kang. Sis is willing to risk life and limb for the men that say her hair is too nappy or too short, her skin is too dark, she is too loud, or she wears too much weave and makeup, as if these accoutrements aren't things that all women partake in. Mammies, I'm speaking directly to you. Coon Travius doesn't want you to feel good about yourself. He doesn't want you to fall in love with your image. He also doesn't want you to know love and admiration because he has deemed himself unworthy of those things because of his blackness and his place in society. So by association, he has deemed you unworthy as well. Before we at the Dusty Recovery Network can rescue the delusional mammy from the digmatization of the dilapidated Kangs as she grasps, we must first identify the traits and characteristics of a mammy. Throughout this lecture, I will use the words mammy and mule interchangeably. Mammies are male-identified women that link their value to black men solely because he is black and male. No achievements or accomplishments are necessary. The mammy will always perform Olympic levels of mental gymnastics to divert all accountability from the Kang. Let's deconstruct our first mammy. She asks, what will happen to the rest of us? Who is us? There are 2 million more black women than black men. Are we supposed to wait around until a black man is widowed, even though they barely marry, so that we too can have a partner? Clearly, she went to the Africans because her braids must be too damn tight. Then she states, what happens to the black non-men? Non-men? I'm not even going to address that can't date outside the community or marry rich. It's the fear-mongering for me. This just feeds into the narrative that black women have no options outside black men. I wonder where the Mammy got that sentiment from. The Mamisha continues by saying that black women have never wore a cape for black men or the black community, and rather than burning the imaginary cape, we should be dismantling the systems that have disenfranchised us. Sis, black men love white supremacy, colorism, misogynoir, and capitalism. Who am I to stop them from wallowing in their supposed oppression? Up next, we have the IG model Mammy. She sexualizes herself to garner attention from the nakers. The thought Mammy's mental capabilities closely align with those of the naker, as she believes if she agrees with his illogical rhetoric, it will garner her the coveted position of baby mama number 3. Thought Mammy says that we black women treat all black males badly, even strangers on the street. Girl, bye. Black women are out here risking their lives and freedom trying to rescue grown-ass dusty nakers that they don't even know. When have the Kangs done anything similar for black women? I'll wait. It's giving Hotep goddess who's looking for her next pharaoh because we was Kangs and queens. Shamami must have ordered her cape from AliExpress. Sis, hang up that sweatshop-ass cape and rest in your femininity. We here at the Dusty Recovery Network are only a call away.
Okay, you said black men and black boys are the what? Listen, baby, I have a black son. Let me make something clear. When I make videos, I'm not specifically talking about black men or black women unless I say black men, black women. Okay? I speak in general. Anybody can be reached through those messages. Let me tell you something. Black people publicly broadcast their grievances with one another. Okay? But let me be clear. Other cultures and racial and ethnic groups have similar issues or different issues. They just don't broadcast their issues publicly. Okay? What we're not going to do is shame black men, because there are many black men that are great providers, great husbands, successful. There are many black men who are doing well for themselves. There are many black boys that are being raised to be kings. We won't do that. We won't black man shame here. And let me tell you something. I love me a good black man, okay? Give me a nice, tall, dark, handsome shot of espresso, baby.
I truly despise these I have a thun sponsored by Similac ass mammies. Mammies are still on this we are family nonsense, but only as it pertains to their imaginary kings that need to be protected at all times. She proceeds to say her message is to anyone listening, but all of her content is geared toward the black community. She exclaims that non-black people don't air out their grievances in public forums, as she sits on a platform built by non-black people where they divulge all their business and grievances. Every day there is a Brad, Becky, June, Ling Ling, or Maria and Miguel airing out their entire community. Just say you're not in non-black spaces and keep it moving. This trying to browbeat black women for creating safe spaces to communicate their experiences is giving KaNgS vibes. Just say you want a dusty, unproductive naker and go, sis, because the math ain't mathin', the calculus ain't calculating. She also states she loves a good, dark-skinned black man, but sis is an entire single mother. No shade to single mothers, but apparently the man that impregnated her isn't one of those good dark-skinned black men, since he didn't make you his bride. Mammies exist in a constant state of denial.
I don't really know what is wrong with some Nigeria ladies, or should I say African ladies living in Germany, right? It's so bad. You see, listen guys, marrying to someone is like a school that you learn every day. No one has a perfect home. You must know this, especially ladies, know this. No woman has a perfect home. So you calling police for your man, I think that is totally wrong. It's so wrong. Okay? Especially those ladies living in Germany. Stop calling police for your man. Stop to call police.
Afro-European Mammy must have lost her damn mind. To all my sisters, foreign and domestic, call the police. Don't risk your life for an acre. Call 911, 119, 112. Girl, call the damn cops.
If pick me behavior is saying that it's not okay that women abuse men, then call me a pick me. Because at the end of the day, I fundamentally don't think that anyone under any circumstances should be treated like that. What he did is wrong. What women were confessing to under certain trends, also wrong. I believe in the type of feminism that Audre Lorde believes in, that Alice Walker believes in, that Bell Hooks believed in. The one that accounts for the needs and liberation of women, specifically Black women, while taking into account several other facets, including men. This page is about liberation for everyone and holding everyone accountable. And if the smartest thing you have to say is that I'm a pick-me for standing up for what is right for other people, call a spade, baby. Women cannot oppress men, but we sure can treat them wrong. And if you're okay with that, that is called misandry. And you can sit with it.
It's the conflating of oppression and mistreatment for me. These are the women you need to avoid because their idea of accountability is to blame Black women so they can receive the coveted, limited edition, highly sought after Mammy snacks that seem to always be out of stock because Black men never reciprocate with praise of Black women.
A friend of mine from the past, her ex came in, and I don't even think anything happened, but at one point, like, I looked across the room, and he happened to look across the room to me, and he mouthed, "You good?" And I was like, "Yes." Instantly felt safer. I hadn't seen this man in years. So I feel like in a hypothetical world where the Black men didn't exist, the Black woman would not be comfortable. Y'all are a headache at times, but in real life, we need y'all.
One thing about a male-worshipping Mammy is that she's going to accept the bare minimum and then portray that as something meaningful. The bar is non-existent at this point. He looked at her, and because he acknowledged her presence, he is the best thing since the advent of electricity. Girl, please go on Amazon.com and buy yourself some self-esteem, and I hope you have Prime, because you need it ASAP.
Called to pick me is not insulting, especially when you've been picked.
Dude, what is he saying?
Why is it that when a Black woman stands up for a Black man, she's labeled as a pick-me? That's the question I had to myself yesterday, so I posted on Facebook. Quite a few people replied, but one response stood out the most. This brother said, "In all seriousness, the pick-me sister is most definitely the best choice for a brother. Why would a man pick a woman that will not stand by him in support of his mission and goals, picking a woman that's in competition with him? The pick-me is doing and saying the correct things to make herself a desirable asset to a man. Send me the pick-me any day. All the bitter Black, big mamas, can stay on the sidelines, never getting picked." I read that and honestly it changed my whole mindset on being called a pick-me because I stand up for Black men so much. She's a pick-me, she's a pick-me.
Next, we have a Hebrew He-Man Mammy that thinks being picked by a dusty means she has value. Being an asset to a naker means you're either a doormat, a punching bag, a wallet, or a combination of all three. But evidently, that's all Turban Tamika needs from her Tyrone. The lies a Mammy will tell know no ends. So Black women hate Black women more than Black men? The femicide, domestic violence, and assault stats prove that to be a lie from the deepest pits of hell. Now that we've addressed the various types of mules in existence, we hope that you've gained insight into the varying classifications. We will now review what the bucks think about Black women. So mules, I need you to pay close attention. Let's see if the buck wench's energy is in alignment with that of his moronic Mammy militia. At the DRN, we believe in combining visual and auditory material so that you can get a better understanding of the Mammies' diabolical worship of their beloved, dilapidated KaNgS. While Mammies exclaimed the greatness that is the dust bucket Kang, he pimps himself out for the pleasure of ran through Rachel's and Ryan's in the hopes of validating his need to be equal to Brad. I would like to apologize in advance for these cringe-induced, self-hate riddled videos that were undoubtedly produced deep in the backwaters of the sunken place. I hope you all are up to date on all your immunizations. I wouldn't want you to develop any dust-related diseases after watching these videos. Mammies are too deluded to recognize that black men are shouting from dilapidated rooftops about how much they prefer non-black women across all forms of social media. I still can't seem to figure out why buck wenches feel the need to degrade black women on an app where they have access to millions of women from all nations. There is absolutely no reason to even address the women you supposedly despise when there are so many women vying for your attention. I mean, you are the most desired, underemployed, unproductive men to walk the face of the planet. I mean, you have this smorgasbord of options, but you're fixated on demeaning women you don't want, all while basing your entire dating criteria on these undesired, unwanted women? The calculus isn't calculating, sir. Here we go again. Why do black men always bring up slavery when they see a black woman with a white man? They never do this for white women and black male couples, even though 40% of American slaveholders were women. Furthermore, the black woman in this post is Afro-European. Her ancestors were never slaves. You tried it. Black men only know how to operate in a constant state of victimhood. He can't even view blackness outside the paradigm of slavery. Black women, why would you date a victim when you can have a victor, and that goes beyond race? This post is a domestic violence dog whistle. These men are upset that black women can call the police on them, even though black women are the least likely to report abuse. That's what he means when he says run to the former slave masters. So who do black men call when they need help? They damn sure ain't calling each other. The Kangs complain about black women calling the cops on them only to turn around and say that they don't need to address racism or the deaths of their so-called brothers because white men have been going to jail. So black men need to be rescued by Brad too? Black men can rely on the cops, but black women shouldn't? Damsel in distress much? Mammies and mules, I'm going to need you to pay extra special attention. The Kangs don't even value the autonomy of black women because apparently the forcible touching and detaining of a black woman is a vibe. These men think black women have to acknowledge them because no one else in the world does. These violent brutes are literally creating scenarios where they can physically harm black women because they prefer white women. But supposedly, the 5.5-hour femicide stat is fake, whilst they pretend to attack imaginary black women for like. I mean, Stephanie Jones Rogers did say they were her property. Let Becky and them have their bucks back. Miss Ann misses that estrogen-filled, effeminate-ass BBC. Those coon treats must be delectable. Black men of their own free will are confessing they will unalive black people so that white people can freely racially degrade us. If this doesn't scream internalized racism and self-hate, I don't know what does. It's giving overseer and massa, we is sick. These mutant XY chromosomes must enjoy being on the bottom of the global male hierarchy. They are comfortable and content in their subjugation as long as Zaddy Brad doesn't rescind his access to non-black facially challenged rejects. Black men don't want real equality. They want Brad to embrace them with open arms like the father figure so many of them have never had. They want to reap the benefits of white patriarchy without doing the conquering. Black men want to be leaders even though they lack leadership qualities, and the entire black diaspora is a reflection of that. The Kangs want access to the table Brad built, but doesn't want to do the work to build his own table. He'd rather eat the measly scraps that Brad reluctantly doles out to him. What we have here is a Brad Sean, a counterfeit Brad, a wannabe Brad, a Brad by proxy, a dark white of sorts. Black men love to complain about Brad, while also wanting to be in constant proximity to his wife Zaddy. Tyrone loves being a token.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
If you have clear skin, the man think you don't have STDs.
Yeah, that's about the truth. You can eyeball a woman and know if she healthy enough to fuck raw.
But that's not true though. But that's not true though.
Rewind, hold on. You can do what?
I said, well, I got the skills enough to eyeball a woman and know if she healthy enough to fuck raw.
That's so sad that you feel that way.
I ain't never had an STD though.
Based on how the KaNgS judge sexual health, I can only assume that these two albino sea cows must have glass skin. I don't even want to begin to imagine what that Econo Lodge hotel must smell like. And you just know this snaker thought this was a flex with these clearly unwashed mayo maddies. Why does the bathwater look like a Mississippi swamp? Her ass crack is longer than a 40-inch lace front. Damn!
I got caught another dude's name, and this is what I get. This is what I get for being caught another dude's name. For being caught another dude's name, this is what I get. Ain't that something? Y'all explain.
We at the Dusty Recovery Network pride ourselves on exposing the hypocrisy and fallacies that the KaNgS use to gaslight Black women about their life choices. We understand that denial is one of the many emotions you will experience when recovering from Mammyitis. It can be a long and arduous journey, accepting that Black men, as a collective, are weak links. Accept it, sis, and move accordingly. Sisters, I'm going to need you to wake the fuck up. These bums are declaring to the world that we have no value as they continue to unalive us every 5.5 hours in the US and every 3 in South Africa, and 64% of all the women unalived in Brazil are Black. While we protest and lobby for change, they mock, degrade, assault, and unalive us. We have the highest domestic violence and sexual assault rates. These males are void of empathy, compassion, critical thinking skills, and they lack the ability to be productive. Like, damn sis, swipe the dust from your eyes and realize that the nakers are washed.
Get to that point to say, oh, I'm killing you now. Even though she probably didn't even mean to kill him. You know, probably grabbed the knife, mad, pissed off. And I mean, that's the consequences of you grabbing a knife and swinging it at somebody. You can probably kill them. And she probably stabbed him and freaked the hell out. You know, and I just hate that it had to happen this way.
These broke bussy bopping bucks get online to spew hate-fueled comments to dehumanize Black women, but turn around and make excuses for Becky when she murks Bucktunde. I guess the Bucks love Becky to death, literally. I know this was a lot to take in, but we at the Dusty Recovery Network deal in facts, not fallacies. This is who the KaNgS are, and no amount of support will cause them to change. So hang it up, sis. It's time to check out. Based on our extensive research here at the Dusty Recovery Network, we've come to the conclusion that Black males are too busy selling pussy to rich elderly brats in exchange for heroin to rebuild their image or the Black community that they destroyed. Black women, we could learn a thing or two from the buck wenches. It seems that Black males are hypergamous with their pussy. I really hate to have to do this to you mammies. Making these videos and having to drag you by your edges, it doesn't make me happy. It doesn't feel good. Remember that the Dusty Recovery Network is here to help, and you can change your destiny at any age. You don't always have to be tied down to losers. This lecture was brought to you by the white man's internet. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you happen to witness any fuckery afoot on the internet and would like me to drill them, drop me a line at thedustyloveconnection@gmail.com, because it's drill time all the time. Thanks for watching.